The house was alive with Christmas spirit, a tall tree adorned with twinkling lights and shiny red balls. Outside, snow fell gently, while inside a warm fire crackled, casting a cozy glow. The family gathered, laughter mingling with carols on the radio. In the kitchen, a honey-glazed ham, the star of the feast, awaited its moment. The aroma of sweet honey and savory pork filled the air, promising a delicious meal. Lily and Tom hung their stockings, eyes on the presents under the tree. Mr. and Mrs. Miller ensured everything was perfect, the air thick with anticipation. They snuggled on the sofa, watching a classic Christmas movie, hearts full of joy. The house was a haven of peace, where memories were made, and the spirit of Christmas thrived. The night was perfect, a picture of holiday cheer and togetherness. The family was ready for a Christmas to remember. Meet Snoopy, the Miller family's mischievous beagle with a nose for adventure and food. Known for his clever tricks, he could nudge open pantry doors and sneak socks from the laundry. Snoopy was a lovable rogue, always on the lookout for a snack, his antics a source of laughter. On Christmas Eve, the smells drove him wild, his nose twitching with the promise of something spectacular. Snoopy, the master of mischief, was already plotting his next adventure. As the family watched their movie, the scent of the honey-glazed ham was irresistible to Snoopy. He moved stealthily, his eyes locked on the kitchen where the ham sat like a king. The dimly lit kitchen was perfect for his daring mission. Snoopy's clever mind devised a plan. Use the dining chair as a stepping stone to reach the counter. The scent of the ham was a powerful motivator, pushing him forward. He knew the risks but was driven by the promise of the feast. Snoopy's heart raced with excitement as he prepared for his heist. The counter was high, but his determination was higher. He had observed the kitchen for years, noting every detail. The chair was slightly pulled out, just enough for his plan. He was ready to make his move, the scent of the ham guiding him. The kitchen was quiet, the perfect setting for his mission. Snoopy was on a mission, the ham his ultimate prize. The stage was set for the great ham heist. Snoopy's moment had arrived. The house was filled with the warm glow of Christmas lights, laughter echoing from the other room. But Snoopy's focus was razor-sharp, his nose twitching as the scent of ham drifted through the air. He knew this was his chance, his one shot at glory. He approached the dining table, finding the chair slightly pulled out, as if fate itself had given him a helping paw. Every step was careful, his ears perked for any sign of discovery. With surprising grace, he climbed onto the chair, then leaped to the counter. For a moment, he paused, heart pounding, making sure no one had seen his daring move. There it was, the magnificent ham, warm and sticky, glistening under the kitchen lights like a treasure waiting to be claimed. The aroma was irresistible, filling his senses with anticipation. His tail wagged in triumph as he stood next to his prize. For a brief second, he imagined himself as a legendary thief, celebrated in the annals of canine history. The challenge was getting the ham down without a crash. One wrong move, and the whole family would come running. He needed a plan, and he needed it fast. Snoopy licked the glaze, savoring the taste. It was even better than he'd imagined, sweet, salty, and utterly delicious. But he couldn't get distracted now. An idea sparked, use his teeth to grip the ham and drag it. He tested the weight, feeling the sticky glaze on his muzzle and prepared for the next step. He pulled slowly, aiming for the sofa to cushion its fall. Inch by inch he maneuvered the ham, careful not to let it slip or make a sound. The heist was in its final stage, the ham within reach. Every muscle in his body was tense, his eyes locked on the prize. Snoopy's cleverness and determination were unmatched. He was a master strategist, a four-legged mastermind plotting the perfect crime. The ham was heavy, but his resolve was stronger. He dug in, using every ounce of strength, refusing to give up. He was a dog on a mission, driven by the scent of his prize. Nothing else mattered, not the risk, not the rules, only the reward. The kitchen was his playground, the ham his trophy. Every corner, every shadow, was part of his grand adventure. Snoopy's heist was a daring adventure, full of risk and reward. He felt the thrill of the chase, the excitement of the unknown. The great ham heist was nearing its climax. Victory was so close, he could almost taste it. Snoopy was ready to claim his prize. All his planning, all his patience, had led to this moment. The ham was his, and he was the hero of his own story. In that instant, Snoopy knew he'd pulled off the greatest heist his family had ever seen. The movie ended, and the Millers prepared for bed. The house was filled with the soft glow of Christmas lights and the comforting hum of a family winding down for the night. Laughter echoed down the hallway as the children shuffled off to their rooms, and the family dog stretched out contentedly on the living room rug, blissfully unaware of the intrigue about to unfold. Mrs. Miller entered the kitchen for water and froze at the sight of an empty platter. The kitchen, which had been bustling with holiday cheer just hours before, now felt strangely still. She blinked, certain she must be mistaken, but the evidence was clear. The ham was gone, vanished without a trace. The centerpiece of their holiday feast, lovingly prepared and set aside for tomorrow's lunch, had simply disappeared. Not a crumb remained, not even a stray piece of garnish. Mr. Miller joined her, both baffled by the disappearance. He rubbed his eyes, thinking perhaps he was dreaming, but the empty platter was all too real. They exchanged worried glances, each silently wondering if they'd somehow forgotten moving it. They checked doors and windows, all securely locked. There was no sign of forced entry, no muddy footprints, nothing to suggest an intruder. The house was as secure as ever, and yet the ham was missing. The mystery deepened. How could a ham simply disappear? The couple retraced their steps, replaying the evening in their minds. Had someone come in while they weren't looking? Was it possible they'd misplaced an entire platter of food? They considered the children, but it seemed impossible. The kids had been glued to the movie, and besides, sneaking off with a whole ham was no small feat. Still, the parents couldn't help but wonder if their little ones were capable of such a caper. The case of the vanishing ham was a true Christmas mystery. The kitchen, once filled with the aroma of baked ham and spices, now held only the faintest trace of what had been. The festive decorations seemed to mock their confusion. The festive mood was replaced by bewilderment. The family gathered in the living room, each person offering theories, none of which made sense. Even the dog seemed to sense the tension, glancing up with innocent eyes. Little did they know, the culprit was nearby, dreaming of his conquest. The family dog, belly full and dreams sweet, snored softly, blissfully unaware of the chaos he'd caused. The mystery of the great ham heist was just beginning. The Millers were determined to get to the bottom of it, vowing not to let the case go unsolved. The Millers were left with questions and no answers. They sat at the kitchen table, piecing together clues, their imaginations running wild with possibilities. The kitchen was silent, the mystery unsolved. Shadows danced on the walls, and the only sound was the distant ticking of the clock. The ham was gone, but the story was far from over. The family's determination grew stronger with each passing minute. The Millers were determined to solve the mystery. They decided to launch a full investigation, searching for clues and questioning everyone in the house. The night was full of surprises, and the biggest one was yet to come. Outside, the world was peaceful, but inside, the Millers were on high alert. The mystery of the missing ham was a puzzle to unravel. Every nook and cranny of the kitchen was inspected, every family member questioned, but the answer remained elusive. The Millers were on the case, ready to find the truth. They wouldn't rest until the ham was found, or at least until the mystery was solved. The night was quiet, but the mystery was loud. The unanswered questions lingered in the air, keeping everyone on edge. The ham was gone, but the story was just beginning. The Millers knew that tomorrow would bring new clues and perhaps a solution to their Christmas conundrum. The Millers were ready to uncover the truth. With determination in their hearts and a sense of adventure in the air, they set out to solve the greatest kitchen mystery their family had ever faced. The Millers began a search for the missing ham. It was supposed to be the highlight of their holiday dinner, a perfectly glazed ham that had taken hours to prepare. But now, as the family gathered in the kitchen, confusion and curiosity filled the air. Where could it have gone? They checked the kitchen, pantry, and even the oven. Every drawer was opened, every shelf inspected. The refrigerator was double-checked, and even the freezer was given a glance, just in case someone had put it away for safekeeping. The dining room and living room were next, but no ham. Chairs were moved, tablecloths lifted, and even the space beneath the sofa was examined. The family was determined not to leave any stone unturned. The mystery deepened with every empty corner. The countertops, once bustling with food and laughter, now seemed suspiciously bare. It was as if the ham had vanished into thin air. They wondered about Snoopy, their mischievous Beagle. He had a reputation for getting into trouble, especially when food was involved. He was missing too, adding to the mystery. His bed was empty, and his favorite toy lay untouched on the floor. Snoopy was the prime suspect, but how could he manage it? The family exchanged glances, half amused, half suspicious. The counter was high, the ham heavy. It seemed impossible for a small dog to pull off such a heist. Yet, the evidence, or lack of it, pointed in his direction. Yet, Snoopy's cleverness was well known. He had surprised them before, outsmarting baby Gates and sneaking treats when no one was looking. They decided to check his favorite hiding spots. Under beds, behind curtains, and in the laundry basket. No place was off limits. The cozy nook behind the armchair was his personal den. It was a place where he often retreated with his treasures, and the family approached it with anticipation. The search continued. The mystery, unsolved. Frustration began to mix with laughter as the family recounted other times Snoopy had caused mischief. The Millers were determined to find the truth. They formed a plan, dividing up the house and calling out for Snoopy as they searched. The night was quiet, but the mystery was loud. Every creak and shadow seemed to hold a clue, and the house buzzed with anticipation. The ham was gone, but the story was just beginning. The empty platter on the table was a silent witness to the evening's drama. The Millers were ready to uncover the truth. With flashlights in hand and determination in their hearts, they pressed on. The search was on. The mystery deepening. Each new clue, or lack thereof, only made them more eager to solve the case. The night was full of surprises, and the biggest one was yet to come. The family's excitement grew with every step, certain that the answer was just around the corner. The mystery of the missing ham was a puzzle to unravel. Each family member contributed their theories, piecing together the clues like detectives on a case. The Millers were on the case, ready to find the truth. No matter how long it took, they wouldn't rest until the ham was found. The night was quiet, but the mystery was loud. Somewhere in the house, the answer waited to be discovered, and the Millers were determined to find it. Mr. Miller peered behind the armchair, Snoopy's favorite spot. There lay Snoopy, fast asleep, cradling the missing ham. The sight was both absurd and comical. The mystery was solved. Snoopy was the culprit. The great ham heist was an inside job. The Millers watched, amused by the scene. Snoopy was oblivious, dreaming of his prize. The moment was too precious to disturb. Mrs. Miller snapped a picture, capturing the evidence. The mystery concluded with laughter, not frustration. Snoopy's cleverness was unmatched, his heist legendary. The Millers couldn't be angry, only amused. The story of Snoopy's heist would be a family legend. The night ended with smiles and laughter. Snoopy was the hero of his own story. The great ham heist was a Christmas memory to cherish. Snoopy twitched in his sleep, dreaming of a ham-filled world. He was the king of his ham kingdom, free to feast. His dreams were filled with adventure and triumph. Snoopy was the hero of his own action movie. The Millers watched, smiles growing as they imagined his dreams. Snoopy's joy was contagious, his dreams a delight. The simplest things, like a stolen ham, brought the greatest joy. The Millers couldn't help but laugh at Snoopy's antics. Their Christmas dinner had been hijacked, but their spirits were high. They decided to leave Snoopy and his ham undisturbed. Christmas pizza became the new plan, a memory to cherish. The story of Snoopy's heist would be told for years. The next morning, the children joined in the laughter. Snoopy woke, pleased with his prize, his tail wagging. Instead of scolding, the family celebrated his cleverness. Christmas was about being together, sharing love and laughter. The holiday was perfect, thanks to a mischievous Beagle. Snoopy's heist filled their Christmas with unexpected joy. The Millers learned that the best moments are unplanned. The holiday was about making memories, even with a stolen ham. Snoopy's antics became a beloved family legend. The Christmas of the great ham heist was one to remember.